What's up nakamas? Welcome back to the channel, and for today, we're gonna be playing with Doffy. I'll be sharing my updated deck list. This is my actual deck. I'll show you some games off of the simulator later. So I think this is basically version 3 or 4. So the difference from the previous version is I'm running a full playset of the OP07 4-cost law. One that targets your opponent to return one card from their hand onto their library if they have 6 or more cards in their hand. We remove a Buggy, and I think I was running one flex slot for Red Rock or Gravity Blade depending on what I think the meta is. And I think now I'm currently running 3 Blackbeards. I think he's very strong at the moment. And I'm not running Jozus for this current configuration. And of course, OP10 gave us Doffy Dons, so of course we have added those to the deck list. And without further ado, let's see this deck in action. Okay, for our first game, we are against Smoker. So for Smoker, of course, we kept that hand. We are playing first. We want to play first, and we kept that hand because we did have a Perona. So off of the Perona, we put the Jinbe on top, and now we drop a Weevil and a draw. So since we want to go aggro, I just saved my Jinbe there, but opponent had an Ice Age and got rid of our Weevil via Brook, which is very strong. So yeah, the newly added 4-cost Trafalgar Law here, I used it and opponent returned one card from hand to the bottom of the deck. So opponent is, I'm not sure if it's an effect of our law, but opponent has been blocking and using counters aggressively. So with this kind of opponent, I think we don't need our Purins for this play. And now they have a 6k blocker, so we can go for Jinbe here with our leader effect and attack for at least 8k with the Hancock's effect. That way, if our opponent will block with the Borsalino, they will need 2 cards from their hand. So let's go with that play. So yeah, we don't need Purin on this matchup, like how especially now that we see how our opponent is playing. So I just ended the turn here. So this is the 7 Dawn turn from our 8 Dawn turn from our opponent. So them using the 1 Dawn there gives us an idea that they probably don't have a Moria. So attacking for 4k here just to get rid of our Perona, and dropping a Jinbe, very strong turn for our opponent, killing our Hancock. So at this point, I'm not sure to use Moria or Hancock, but I opted to get Moria here and then getting my own Hancock as a blocker just in case our opponent will drop some big bodies later on. So I just opted to attack for 7k here because our opponent has low number of cards in their hand. So again, Jinbe, very strong, very strong against us. May it be in the Smoker deck or the Lucci deck, because their leader effect -1 gets our creatures in range for Jack's effect. So up to this point, our opponent has 3 blockers, so I'm just looking for our Perfume Femur here. So we can probably just go for Perfume Femur and leave one leader effect here. So we got a Law, we can bounce one of their blockers for 11k. So we got a Perona in our hand. We can just try to look for our Perfume Femur and just go through all of their blockers to this point. So our opponent probably miscalculated there, but we will still get our Perfume Femur next, so that will still be a win. So next we are against Nami. So I played first here and mulligan, and luckily we got a Perona. But usually, if it's another deck, we usually want to play second from Nami's against Nami so that the user won't be able to draw an additional card. So now we are in a pretty much good situation here, I think, because we have a Jinbe and a Weevil in our hand. So for now we can just attack for 7 here, but on the next turn we can drop Jinbe Weevil to increase the number of attackers that we have. 7k attack, we are expecting to get this countered. So against Nami, since we won't be using the cards, the counters that much in our hand, so it's pretty much better to always use your counters when the leader attacks our characters. So up to this point, I'm just attacking for 7k. So you can, depending on the number of cards in your opponent's hand, you can attack for 5, 6, or 7k with the objective of just trying to reduce the number of cards from your opponent's hand when you enter mid-game or late game. So up to this point, I just attack 6 so that I can leader effect and attack for 7. So against aggressive decks like us, it's almost always better to think that your opponent has a white snake. So always attack for like 1k attack, a 1k power more, just in case they have a white snake, then they will still need to use another card. So we got Law and bouncing their blocker, and just let them use the cards in their hand here. That's my game plan when playing against Nami with Doffy. So usually we want to attack 9k attacks, but that's usually when you have like a mid-range decks. But for Doffy, since we have a lot of characters in the board, we can change our approach wherein we just want to reduce the number of cards in their hand, like in this case 2 cards only, as long as you like keep Nami to like 4 cards or less. Then you are okay to attack her with like 6 and 7k attacks. So here, opponent has the full 10 Dawn, but only 3 cards in their hand. But they drew a Pilaf, which is very nice, and another Pilaf, and now a blocker. And then that turn was, I think that was a pretty strong turn for her. And attacks for 5 here, we just defend our attackers. Then my plan here is to actually use Perfume Femur, then bounce their blocker. But I did a mistake here because I dropped the wrong Law. So I wanted to bounce the Boodle, but I dropped the wrong Law here. But oh well, we need to go on. So we have 6 Dawns. We have 3 Dawns and just distributed the 3 Dawns by attacking 6k here. attack for 5, and a leader attack for 6. And our opponent used to block, and that block actually hurt our opponent more than us because they milled a Pilaf. So Kaya here. So up to this point, it's just like our game plan is to just keep on attacking them. So Love Beam, pretty strong card there. And now again, thinking that you have that your opponent has White Snake attacking for 6k in that previous attack allowed them to discard an additional card from their hand, which was Nami. So yeah, we just keep on attacking for like 1,000 more than the current power of their leader. So they got the White Snake and used the trigger to arrange the cards in their library, which can be pretty strong because they can arrange like if they have a Pilaf or a Kaya, they can arrange it in a way that they can chain and draw a lot of cards. So I really like that setup as well. But for now, we're just attacking for 7k here and not go for leader effect, just to allow them to use the cards in their hand. So always check how many Kayas and how many Pilafs they have and impel down all-stars. That way you can try to simulate like if they have those cards in their life, like they're really good. So 2 cards from our opponent's hand here, and they use everything, and we can just attack for 5k for the win. Yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you like my list, and I hope you learned something from the gameplay. If you're still watching up to this point, then you're not just a nakama, but a super nakama. And thank you very much for your continued support. If you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. It will help the channel a lot, and you will be notified for my future One Piece videos. And also, if you haven't watched my previous video wherein I opened the first edition for Dragon Ball, please like that video as well, because if we reach 50 likes, I'd be giving away 2 boxes of that first edition Dragon Ball set. So yeah, that's all, and have a wonderful day or night, and see you in the next video.